Video, we're going to go over IRS Form 8453, U.S. Individual Income Tax Transmittal for an IRS e-file return. What is this form? Simply put, this is the tax form that you would have to send to the Internal Revenue Service if you are accompanying your tax return with certain tax forms that cannot be e-filed. So we'll walk through this form and we'll go over each of the forms that this form discusses. Now, this is just a one-page, fairly straightforward form, easy to complete. On the second page of this document, which you can download from the IRS website, you'll see specific instructions, right? So the purpose of the form is to use it to send any required paper forms or supporting documentation. A couple of notes from the IRS: they don't want you to send any forms like your W-2 or 1099s. In fact, they don't want you to attach any form that is not specifically shown next to checkboxes. So if we go over a form and the form that you're trying to send a paper copy of is not noted, then you're not supposed to use Form 8453. But if you use a tax preparer, they are known as an electronic return originator, or ERO. Their requirement is they must mail this form, file it by mail to the Internal Revenue Service within 3 business days after receiving an acknowledgement that the IRS has accepted the electronically filed tax return. So in other words, you have to wait for the tax return to be accepted, then you mail this documentation to the IRS to support the previously accepted tax return. Or if you're using, say, TurboTax or another online e-file provider, then you would do this yourself. You would wait until you receive acknowledgement from the IRS that they have accepted your tax return, and then you would have to mail this form as well as any accompanying paperwork within 3 business days. There is a mailing address at this form on the back of it. So there's the Internal Revenue Service, Shipping and Receiving, code 0254, Receipt and Control Branch, located in Austin, Texas, 73344-0254. So there's also more detailed instructions, specifically if you need to send something like a IRS Form 2848, which is the IRS Power of Attorney form, a divorce decree or separation agreement. There's additional guidance at the back of the form. So let's go to the top of the form. You'll notice that at the top is the typical taxpayer information. So your name, first name and middle initial, last name, social security number. If you're filing a joint return, then your spouse's first, middle initial, and last name, as well as their social security number, followed by your home address, complete with city, state, and zip code. And then if you're in a foreign country, you would write out the name of the country, state and province, and the postal code. So the only forms that you are authorized to send via mail in accompaniment with Form 8453 are listed below. So IRS Form 1098C, which is contributions of motorboats, motor vehicles, boats, and airplanes. So this is a tax form that you would use if you made a charitable contribution that you're looking to take an itemized deduction on. 2848, that's the Power of Attorney form. IRS Form 3515, which is a application for change in accounting method. IRS Form 3468. IRS Form 4136, this is a fuel credit claim form. You would attach the form as well as appropriate certificates. So you'll notice that next to certain of these forms, you'll see other documents that the IRS might request as well. 5713 is the International Boycott Report. Form 8283, non-cash charitable contributions. Section A applies to any qualified appraisals or statements that might be required. Section B is donated property, and then any related attachments. So if there is an appraisal that was required, then you would send a copy of the qualified appraisal. IRS Form 8332, this is the release or revocation of release of claim to an exemption for a child by a custodial parent. You would also need certain pages from either a divorce decree or separation document. If your divorce took place between 1984 and 2009, the instructions contain additional guidance on this specifically. Form 8858, this is the information return for U.S. persons with respect to foreign disregarded entities and foreign branches. This form definitely will apply to a very small percentage of taxpayers. 8864, this is another fuel reseller credit for certain fuels. And then 8949, this is the sales and other dispositions of capital assets. This is only if you don't report those transactions electronically. This is a form that you can submit electronically or via paper form. So don't sign this form. The IRS has not provided any signature block anywhere on this form, so it does not require your signature. And you only file this form if you are also filing one of the previously stated forms. If you'd like more information on this tax form, we've written a complete article. Simply go to our website, teachmepersonalfinance.com, type in IRS Form 8453 in the search bar, and this article will come up. If you have any questions, please hit us up on social. You can also send me an email. Just type an email to Forrest with 2 R's at teachmepersonalfinance.com. And thank you very much.